The recipe I'm going to make with you today is called Southwest Style Beans Over Rice. This recipe from start to finish will probably take about 20-25 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our brown rice started, so that's done when everything else is done. And we're going to measure out 2 cups of rice. 2 cups of brown rice and 4 cups of water. And I'm going to add about ½ teaspoon of salt into that. That should be just right. Bring it over here. I'm going to give it a real quick zip just to make sure that nothing's sticking down there. And turn on my stove. Put it on high, and we're going to wait just a couple minutes, get that boiling, then we'll come back and check on it again. Okay, we'll chop our onion. I like to chop it in half, lay it down, and then dice it as so. Okay, I'm going to wash up my pepper. Okay. Now I'm going to cut up my garlic. People do different things to get this started, but I like to cut the ends off and then peel it. There we go. Now I like to use a garlic press. I think a garlic press is wonderful. You just pop that little guy in there. Now if you don't have a garlic press, that's not a problem. You can just chop it up with your knife, just like we did the onion. Just chop it a little finer. But with the garlic press, you can just squeeze it out like that. And I like to take the end of my knife and just wipe that off, and you've got a good amount of garlic. Now let's check on the brown rice. Looks like it's come to a boil, so I'm going to turn it down to low heat and put this lid on, and we're going to check on it in about 20 minutes. While I'm here, let's go ahead and put on a flame, and then I'm going to get some olive oil. Let's put 2 or 3 tablespoons in. And while that heats up, go ahead and gather up the onions and the peppers and the other things we need. Now, you want to be careful not to saute this too long. Garlic can burn and it gives it a little odd flavor, so be very careful not to burn the garlic. We're going to let these saute for about 5 minutes, and while we do that, we can prepare our black beans and other ingredients. After we've strained our beans, then we're going to go ahead and add some seasonings to the tomato. We'll start with our oregano. Let's do a tablespoon of that. You could also use an Italian seasoning here. That would be just fine. We're going to go ahead and do about ½ teaspoon of salt, just to give it a little saltiness. You might want to cut back on that if you use canned tomatoes and canned beans, because canned tomatoes and beans might have a little bit of salt in them already. And then we want to do a little bit of black pepper too, just to keep things spicy. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and add that into the sauteed onions and peppers. Okay, we're going to add in our black beans. Now, a serving for a 1 to 3-year-old would be 2 tablespoons of brown rice, 2 tablespoons of your bean and vegetable mixture. And that is 1 portion from your grain group, 1 portion from your vegetable group, and ½ a portion from your meat and bean group. So here you have a serving for a 1 to 3-year-old, 3 to 5-year-old, and an adult. You'll notice that the adult serving is quite a bit bigger than the children's sizes. Now, the children's sizes are just suggested serving sizes, so if your child doesn't want to finish it, don't force them to. You can set it aside for a little later, or give them a snack a little later. Now, if you want to add a little extra pizzazz to your meal, go ahead and top it with a little bit of mozzarella cheese, and that'll give you some food from the milk group. There you go. So another thing you might want to do is add some sour cream in place of the mozzarella cheese, and you got yourself a great meal.